So the choices then, you said this is for me. This is what I want to do. So you said you've got a box for your country first, and we've already established that is New Zealand and not Australia. I think I finally got it, you know. So what happened? Talk to me about that. You box for your country as an amateur.
Yeah, so after that, I was like, I went around to a couple of gyms, like asking, where should I go and what's the route and what's the difference. Like you don't know anything, do you? What's white collar, what's amateur, what's pro, and then I got sent directly to Cameron Todd, who was the New Zealand. Like in New Zealand, they separate the male and female.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was the female coach for the New Zealand team. His wife was Alexis Pritchard, who was she was in the Olympics for New Zealand. Yeah, so it was like they had the female squad. She was still boxing at that time, and they had some really good girls in that gym. So yeah, I went there, did pads with him, and then I was still in uni in this time, and I sat down after, and I was like, I want to drop out of uni and box for New Zealand.
Really?
I was like, if I drop out of uni, do you think I could do it? Like, would you help me box for New Zealand? How long do you think it would take? This is like after like one session. Bearing in mind, like I've only sparred once. Like I'm not even like
okay.
Like I would love to see like a video of how I looked. Like he must have just thought, what the hell? And he was like, yeah, he said to me, you could get on the New Zealand team this year, like if you work hard. Like this season, I mean. Because obviously the pool's like very small in New Zealand, like, there's not many fighters. He was like, yeah, like if you actually you've got good I don't know, movement, whatever, power, you could do it. And he's very like focused on fundamentals. Like I heard people call him basic before, like, but basics are all you need to win amateur fights. Like you just need good basics. And yeah, I think I went and talked to my mentor that day or the next day, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a boxer. And he took me in the office. He was like, Roseanna, women do not earn money from boxing. Like, you need a side career. I was like, no, I don't. I'm going to make it harder. I was so obsessed with like manifesting my dream reality. I believed wholeheartedly, like, I can make it. What do you mean women don't? Like, if I manifest that women make money from boxing, women are going to make money from boxing. Like, looking now back then, like, that's crazy. 2013. There was no, like, women just, yeah. Women weren't making money from boxing. It's not a career, it's a hobby. And You
had Ann Wolf, Layla Ali, over in America. There was a bit...
Bad bitch.
There was more spotlight over there.
But Ann Wolf, I don't think she was really making money. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were there, but big box is later on, definitely.
Yeah. And, yeah, so it just literally went from there. I had my first 3 fights abroad. I couldn't get a fight in New Zealand.
Why?
I was lined up to fight one girl who was like the national champion, and then she was fighting in Poland, I think. And so they put me as like, I guess, the number 2.
Fair enough.
Sent me to Tahiti. That was my first 3 fights. That was, oh my God, that's the best trip. Like, I can't believe that was my first fight. And I was like, yeah, these girls someone said like she'd had over 40 fights. I don't know if that's true, she'd had over 40, but they were like international boxers. And it was this big tournament. It was Mexico, America, New Zealand, and Tahiti. And they were it wasn't a tournament, but they were putting on different shows around the island. And every time we'd have like a different opponent. And I got put against the promoters, because amateur boxing over there is like pro. Like I don't know if they have pro boxing, but like there was big banners on the motorway. Like they take it so serious. Like imagine, I've never had a fight before. We're on posters. Kids are coming up. Even adults are coming up, getting us to do autographs. Like that's my first experience of having an amateur fight. Like, so I'm thinking, like, imagine I've been doing all this manifestation, and I'm like the superstar in Tahiti. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy. But yeah, I smoked her in the first fight, the promoter's daughter. And then I'd been pretending basically that I was an experienced New Zealand boxer. And before the fight, the doctor checks your book and he was like, no fights? No fights? And I was like, oh, no. It's a new book. It's a new book.
Also, you blagged it.
Yeah. And then he was like, but why doesn't it? Because usually if you get a new
follows
book,
on.
yeah. And he was like, huh? He's like, whatever. Like, they're like pretty relaxed up there, checked my hands or whatnot. I got in and it's like on televised everything. And I punched her up. And I came out and you do the post-fight interview, and they were like, how do you feel you beat, I think her name was like Zamora or something. You beat Zamora. How do you feel? I was like, that was my first fight. They're like, yeah, that's your first fight of the tournament. You've got another one in a week. I was like, no, that's my first ever fight. And they were like, huh? And it got back to the promoter that was my first fight. He cancelled my so I fought another
I was about
girl,
to say.
and he made me rematch her on the third. I beat her again. I punched her up again. Like, can you imagine that as your first experience? Crazy.
You got to get that footage, Yeah. Has somebody got that?
That was crap. I don't know. I think I just had so much balls.
No, but I mean like the interview. Have you got that? Do you think?
Nah, I only have like newspaper cutouts.
That would have been good to see that.
Do you know what? I'll message. I think I've got them on Facebook. I'll try and find
them.
Yeah,
try and find them, because that'd be a good bit of footage to have a look at, like to see how it started. That buzz, that feeling, like you said. When you first went in there and you hit the bag and you was like, wow. And you thought, okay, I'm gonna spar. And like you said, you got battered.
Yeah.
But you were so happy. You knew I want to do this. Then you go and have your first fight, not at home.
Yeah.
You're already getting used to that traveling.
Yeah.
Tahiti. You beat the promoter's daughter twice. First time rematch.
Always against you as well. Like,
And you just keep going. And this is what I'm trying to get across. You're somebody that just keeps going. So what happened next?
We're going to be here all day.
Fast forward to when you get to the UK. Why did you come here?
Okay, so
I mean, we're happy you're here, but
I went to the World Championships 2014, so I'd probably been boxing. I would say, like, when me first stepping in the gym was probably like August, September time of 2013. Then I had that was like May 2014 was that Tahiti trip. So November 2014, I've gone to the World Championships. I think that was my 7th fight. And, my coach got me a sponsor. I'm still with the New Zealand coach. He got me a sponsor, like, because New Zealand Sport wasn't... They were only sponsoring Alexis because she was an Olympian and she was, like, the number one, performing fighter. So she was getting like all the funding and no one else was getting anything. So my coach got me a sponsor to pay for my flights, accommodation, and then we paid for all of our own tracksuits, got our own names print. Do you know what I mean? Like, no support. And we went out there and you see Team GB, and there was only 3 of us. There was me, I was boxing at middleweight, and then there was Alexis, I think she was like, is it lightweight, 60 kilos? Mm-hmm. Anyway, and then there was another girl from the team. She was like maybe 50 or 54. So there's like, we're such a small team, and you see Team USA, and they were like the buzz they had, and like all these coaches, and like a full team, and all of and we were just this like poor little New Zealanders, and you feel kind of, it's intimidating being in that environment, and you really like, you're not on that level. And I lost against Kazakhstan, and I was so heartbroken to go to the World Championships and lose in the first round. And I felt like I'd kind of quit on myself in the fight. Like, I let it get in my head too much. Like, in the last round, I remember my coach was like, how much do you want this? Go out there and like show me how much you want it. And I remember just feeling so shattered, like, I've got nothing left. You know what I mean? My mindset was like not right. And I just beat myself up for weeks after, like about all of it, And my coach told me to take a break. He was like, to take a month off, like for Christmas and whatnot. And I came back and I was buzzing, and I was like, I want to learn how to box southpaw. I want to learn how to do this. And I'd been studying it to fight, and like I had all of these ideas that I need to do this, I need to do that. And he was like, just chill out. Like, he wasn't like, I don't know, he just wasn't like, he didn't get how, like, I think he wanted me to stop beating myself up. He was like, Roseanna, it's your 7th fight. Like, but in my head, I'm like, no, like, I know where I'm going. I know what my goal is. Like, it's not good enough. Like, I'm always hard on myself. I was like, it's not good enough. And so, yeah, I felt like I realized if I want to go to where I want to go and make this career as a boxer, I can't be in New Zealand. I'd seen Team USA, I'd seen Team England, and I knew that because my mum's British, I could get a British passport. And so, yeah, I went home, I did this like guided meditation, and I literally fell asleep watching it, and I woke up like, I remember it literally like it was like yesterday. I'm like, I was like, I need to move to England. And it was literally like that. It was literally like something this guided meditation was get messages from your spirit guide. And I literally woke up, I need to move to England. Started Googling, can I get British passport? And yeah, literally left New Zealand like a month. Literally, I rang my mum. I was like, Mum, I'm going to sell my car. When I get that money, move to England. I think I got a credit card, probably like £2,000 or something. It's like, Mum, getting a credit card, not going to pay it back. And I'm selling my car, and will you buy my horse off me? Because I had 2 horses still, and one of them I'd got. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, will you buy my horse off me so I can get some extra money? And she's like, yeah, whatever. Like, if you bought my horse off me, and yeah, so I came over here with about like £3,000. Went up to Manchester, and then yeah, from there.
So the journey, we can fast forward because obviously a lot has gone on, but yet again, like I said, you're somebody that will literally, you're not afraid to make changes. You've moved, I can't even say halfway across the world. It's practically nearly the total opposite side of the world to where you were from because you want to pursue your dreams. You get here, 3,000 quid, etc., etc., British passport. You decide to turn pro. Talk to us about that, because that's the bit that it hasn't been easy for you, even to the point of turning pro and not having your first pro fight. Because like I said, I thought you'd had fights already.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I could have checked on BoxRec, but I just presumed because I'd seen your profile years ago that you were boxing for years.
Yeah.
So the decision for you to obviously, turn pro, and a little bit of that rocky road that you're going through the process even now.
Yeah. I feel like it's always been hard. The whole journey's been hard. Like, I didn't come here and turn straight pro. I came here. I boxed for England once. What did I do? I did the novices here. I won the novices, and then they kicked off that, even though I was on like my 8th fight, because novices are under 10 fights. Because I'd boxed for New Zealand, that means that I'm not a novice. And then so I got told off there, and then I couldn't get fights, and I would enter tournaments, and then people find out that I boxed for New Zealand, or I knocked a couple girls out in sparring, and then it got around that, she's a knockout puncher. People didn't want to spar me. People didn't want to fight me. I entered the ABAs. I think I entered them at middleweight, and then there was no one in middleweight. There was only someone in light heavy. So then the next year I entered at light heavy, and then there was no one in, it's been difficult the whole way. And the pro thing, I'm not even going to go into it today, but yeah, the pro thing, nothing's easy, but I've been manifesting this since day one. I feel like I lost sight of it a bit, and I forgot my power, and I forgot what I can create for myself. And really, I feel that I found a video. I was actually going to put it on my Instagram the other day, doing some pads with my friend Luke Groves. He trains these influencer boxers.
Yep, you've got Ashley Raksu, hasn't he?
Yeah,
lovely guy.
Ashley came down and sparred my boys. I train a few amateur boys, and he came down for sparring, and they were saying, you know, how much money they're earning from this influencer boxing, and why don't I do that, and da 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 da. And I literally, I was like so upset, like talking to Luke, like, Luke, can't you just fucking sort me something? Can't someone sort me something? And Luke said to me, look, how much do you weigh right now? I was like 90 kilos. I was like, you know, I just let myself go. I was like depressed, literally lying on the couch most of the day, vaping, like literally just lost, like wanna fight, don't know how to do it, don't have money to do it, da 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 da, all of this. And Luke was like, listen, if you want to do it, get off your ass, lose 10 kilos, and we'll make something happen for you. Like, I'll do my best to make something happen for you. Anyway, literally a week later, he was like, Roseanna, Floyd Mayweather's doing like an influencer, like a what's it called? Exhibition
Aaron Chalmers.
match. Yeah, he was like, do you want to jump on it? So yeah, it was actually, I feel like he doesn't know how much of like a hole that he pulled me out of. Like, you know, everyone had seen how many no's and difficulties I'd had, and I feel like a lot of people around me had sort of just, they just wanted me to just give it up. They saw how much was getting me down. Everyone just wanted me to let it go. Like, Roseanna, move to, like, there's so many different things I can do. Move to the next stage of your life. And I just could not. And he was like, just, like, look, do it then. If you're going to do it, then do it. Don't just sit here, like, moping about it. Like, if you start the process, you will find a way. And that's literally, like, he just pushed, like, he just said it so bluntly, like, get the weight off. No one's going to take you seriously when you look like this. But yeah, I found this, anyway, long story, I found this video. I was going to post it the other day because that was like literally such like a pivotal moment when I realised, like, fuck it, like, I'm going to do it. And it was literally that, boom, got put on that show, got pulled off the show, had a meltdown, flew out to LA, like, did a GoFundMe. Someone messaged me, how much is your medicals? I was like, $800. Cool, putting it in there now.
What, someone that you know, or
someone that I don't know? Someone
random?
on Instagram.
Wow.
He's
Wow.
yeah.
Kindness.
You might know him.
Yeah, that it doesn't matter. But I'm saying at the time, did you?
Like that I don't know.
Wow.
That doesn't know me personally.
Wow.
Literally.
There's still good people out there, right?
Like literally, and it's a funny story. He told me later that he'd like won a bet. He'd won not a bet, like he'd done some gambling or something, and he'd won like a big chunk of money. And he was like, I saw your thing, and it was literally the night after the day when I'd won it or something. He was like, it was literally just perfect timing that he thought, let me just do my good deed. And he paid my medicals. Other people put money in to help me. Like, it took me like a while. Obviously, I was in LA for about 5 weeks. So yeah, like so many kind people, you know, put like £50, £100, and I did my medicals in LA and got my California license. And like, it literally, like, everything's just been like go 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 go. And even now, like, trying to organize my next fight, I'm sometimes I get down about it, and I'm like, wow. Like, when I saw that video the other day, looking at me, 90 kilos, no professional license, you know, like, no, like, too good for influencer boxing, but can't fight a real fighter, like, and now I'm 1-0, rated #1 in the world.
Box wreck.
Yeah. Cunts.
Look, everyone's always going to have something to say, but like, you show perseverance.
Yeah.
And like you said, shout out to Coach Luke as well, that, like he said, look, you've got to do something about it. And he helped pull you out of that hole. Because sometimes we can get so distracted in our own feelings, because everyone goes through, you know, shit in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, some of us deal with it okay, some of us don't. Some people are worse off than others.
Yeah.
But when that depression gets hold of you, it doesn't matter how minor it may seem to somebody else, it's massive to you, and it can literally stop you in your tracks.
Yeah.
When you're talking about sitting on the settee, overweight, just really like, it's because it's that house that you're supposed to go and visit, but you're not supposed to stay in there, and you get trapped in there, and it's pulling yourself out of that.
Do you know what though? Like, I watched this video at that time because I'd struggled with a lot of depression from the time when I didn't get my license in 2018. Like, I'd gone through dips of, and then doing MMA, and then back to, like, the day after my MMA, no, probably the day after my MMA fight, I was buzzing, and the following day I was fucking broken. I cried. I was like, like nothing could bring me out, and nothing could. And I watched this thing, and the woman was basically saying, when you're depressed, it's like your spirit's telling you that you're not in your purpose.
Interesting.
And you're not living the right life.
Interesting.
And it's like, I feel that I was trying this and this and this and this, and they would give me temporary highs, but the actual like life that I was living would always bring me back to that depressed state. And it's like, I know that when I'm boxing, I feel in my purpose. And I think, like, you know, something so small, like, to Luke it was nothing to just say, get off your ass then, and that's how he talks as well, but he's a prick. Get off your ass then, like, what do you mean you want to box and you're 90 kilos? Get the weight off and then I'll talk to someone for you. And like something so small that just, do you know what it is? It's that belief of, I could do something for you, and then making me believe someone would do something for me. Like someone can make something happen. Do you know what? I'm just going to trust it and let me get the weight off. And look at how many things have literally come from that. So it's, yeah, it's mad.
It is. We could talk forever. We can obviously move into your professional side and what's happening now. But I know that we'll be here for another 18 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it for today on that. And we'll have to come back and revisit it.
Love it.
But how have you found it though? Was that all right? Did you feel like...
What, the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like how long was that?
I don't know. Probably. I don't like to put times on things. I know time is precious. I get that. But...
Well, now they know my story.
Part of it. Small part. Small part. But listen, guys, I can't stress this enough. Get behind Roseanna Cox. Yes, I'm one of these that I get it. I do have my favourites. I do have my biases. But what tends to draw me to people is their personalities. I don't really care if you're a world champion. I don't really care if you're being backed by the best boxing company in the world. It's your character, because when all of that gets stripped away, who are you underneath? And to me, that's what's important. And that's why there's certain fighters that I'll kind of like drift to. It's because they've got something in their character that is really kind of like relatable. You've said quite a few things there that, believe it or not, are relatable to me as well. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to hear like similarities.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Get behind Roseanna Cox. She's on IG. She hasn't got an OnlyFans for all of those DMs that she's getting. She assures me she hasn't got OnlyFans. I mean, people say they haven't got you haven't got OnlyFans. No, she hasn't got OnlyFans. But yeah, support her. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all the usuals. Yeah. Roseanna Cox. You can't miss her because she's got amazing, lovely big eyes. Yeah, that reminds me of when you made me fall over at the flipping Anthony Joshua fight. I was fucking pissed myself. Listen, we'll carry this on another time. Get behind Roseanna Cox, please.